Richard, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Look, it's our pleasure. Believe us. Sophie is.
I'm a big
She
fan.
can't even talk. She's just freaking out.
Just sit here silently.
Look, I just want to break the ice, okay?
Yeah.
I've got an image that I found on the internet that honestly is one of the best things I think I've ever seen, and I've brought it with me. It's nothing. It is nothing. I just want you to have a look at this.
I love that. Who is that?
That is Red
Red
Fraggle
Fraggle.
from Fraggle Rock, like cousins of the Muppets. I don't know if they're like actually cousins of the Muppets, but
That's
I love
kinda
it.
Cute,
I love it so much that I want to pose a question to our audience. I want you to tell us if this is the coolest thing that you've ever seen. Hold that for me, Soph.
Of course.
Or if Richard and Kermit the Frog is the coolest thing that you've ever seen. You have to look into the distance.
Okay, so we know that the film is now out on DVD and Blu-ray this week.
Yes.
Is it kind of a strange feeling for you to be at this point in the process? Does it make you, I don't know, kind of look back on where it all began?
Yeah, I mean, we're always looking back to the beginning because we're having to describe, the process that we went through. But we haven't really finished yet, so it's ongoing. We go back this summer to shoot 10 more weeks. So I've had to, rethink everything we did and all the training.
We actually thought it was wrapped, so is that news to you as well? Like, when did that happen?
We always knew we were going to come back for pickups, but it was going to be 2 weeks, and it's just turned into a little bit longer because it's now 3 movies, and we have the whole of the Battle of the Five Armies to shoot.
Yeah.
Which will be really exciting.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so we know, there have been lots of stories about the Lord of the Rings cast being super close.
Yeah.
Is that the same with you guys on The Hobbit?
Yeah, I mean, we were there for 18 months, and half of the dwarves came from the UK, half of were Kiwi. So yeah, we were a long way from home, and we were very much reliant on that family thing going on there. So
was there a rivalry between the English and the
New
New Zealand?
The first day in the stunt hangar when we were kind of all a bit nervous and checking each other out, and having to do tumbling and wrestling. The competition was good. It was healthy competition, but the Kiwi actors were pretty fit and strong, and were taking us down in every tackle.
Yeah. Yes. Do you think because you guys are so close and Lord of the Rings is so close, everyone's so close, is that a tribute to the way Peter Jackson mans his ship?
Yeah, I mean, there's real loyalty there. I mean, all of his crew came back. I mean, many of them had children, since Lord of the Rings. They're all now part of the crew and the team. So, it's definitely part of the way Peter works. He uses a lot of people again, and he gets, getting all those actors back from Lord of the Rings. It was great. So it was like the old and the new together.
Yeah, cool.
Awesome. So yeah, I don't know, for me, Peter Jackson is just amazing. How is it like to work with him? I mean, he's so involved in every kind of step of the filming process. Is that special attention help you kind of develop Thorin in a way?
Yeah, I mean, he's very collaborative, and he's very open to your ideas. So, I went to him with an idea for a weapon which ended up being developed by Richard Taylor, which was the Oaken Shield, and it sort of came out of my head, but then it went into the playground, which is Weta Workshop, and came out and was in the movie, and that's I was completely bowled over by that. I never expected anything like that, but also even down to the way the character looks, the way the character sounded, the type of dialogue he had, my opinion was valued.
Well, I loved the fact that you guys did Dwarf Boot Camp. I mean, that is just kind of such an incredible little, I don't know, it's just amazing. Okay, so for the people that don't know what Dwarf Boot Camp is, can you tell us a little bit about what you guys did?
Yeah, it was about 8 weeks of learning how to move like a dwarf. And a dwarf was described as having balls of steel, so it was about being kind of heavy in the lower body. But then they literally brought in these enormous boots because the feet and the hands and the head of the dwarf are all bigger, and the boots were initially like wearing clown shoes, so we were all stumbling around. But it was about sort of learning how to run and walk in this sort of very heavy way, and when a dwarf is running, it takes him a bit longer to stop, and if he were to run towards that wall, he'd take the wall down.
Yeah.
So it was sort of finding that real weight, and so 8 weeks. We learned how to do a bit of sign language, learned how to do some wrestling. we went out into the field and did like an SAS style improvisation, which was brilliant.
Dwarf style.
Yeah, scaring a few dogs in the park.
That's awesome. So, I don't know, is there any kind of memorable moments or stories or some kind of anything you can tell us
One
about?
in particular?
Yeah, just one awesome one.
I think that the day that we first, because we'd been in a studio at like a school hall, and the first day that we went outside, and our movement director Terry Notary was like, he said to me, took me aside, and he said, look, you just got to take control of this because you're going to be the leader. So no one knew we were going to do it, so we went outside and I started barking orders at everybody and getting them all to run up and hide in the woods, and yeah, that was pretty memorable because I think there was just a look of shock on everyone's faces.
I was going to say, I'd be talking behind your back going, what is he doing?
What's he doing?
Like,
who does he think he is?
Yeah.
But watching Ken Stott squatting in a bush was very funny.
I'm going to wrap Sophie out because Sophie is a really, really big fan. And we were talking before, and we think it would be funny if you gave her maybe some tips about how to hold herself like a dwarf. So, what's number one tip? What's the one thing to remember?
Okay, well, if you stand up,
which I'm doing,
and then put your feet sort of shoulder width apart, right? And I'm going to do this. So you've got to imagine that you've got a weight around it. That's
wow!
It. So then you have to walk, then you have to walk forward.
Really, this much weight?
Yeah, that much weight. So we'd had a weight belt on. And they'd put like a weight that you use in a gym, so they'd strap it to a chain, and then you had to kind of run.
Yeah,
we do that around the office.
I could get you some big boots as well.
I know, like how many? Was it like what, 20 kilos? How many kilos?
It was about 20 kilos.
Man, that's like almost like half my weight. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So that's like an extra me on me.
Yeah.
Was that just for training, or was that actually like?
Did you have that on in the film?
No, that was for training. But the costumes, we did the scene on the mountain where it's pouring with rain. We shot that in the studio, and we were soaked through. And there was a set of scales by the side of the soundstage, and everyone kind of got on the scales afterwards just to see how much they weighed. And I think Jimmy Nesbitt was up at 30 kilos of his costumes, because we had bags and swords as well.
Okay. I haven't spoken to Liv Tyler recently, but I'm pretty sure that she can still speak Elvish.
Yeah.
15 years later. In 10 years' time, in 15 years' time, what is a character trait that you think that you'll still have?
Because that's interesting. From being a dwarf.
Yeah.
I think it's probably. Well, I've still got the sword, so I'll probably. Be swinging that sword.
Whip it out at Christmas parties.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, it has been out at a Christmas party this year, actually. And
That's what I'd do.
We were very close to carving the turkey with it, but it hasn't been sharpened.
A great family photo.
Yeah.
I'll be swinging that sword around for a while.
Yeah, cool. Well, thank you very much for joining us, and enjoy Sydney, and good luck with filming.
Thanks very much. Nice
Cheers.
to meet you guys.